Hello archivists and welcome to our channel, or welcome back to our channel if you've been here before. We are Six-Sided Scribes. My name's Nahal and today we've got a special guest with us, Thomas.
Hi, I'm Thomas.
Today Thomas has bought his Orks for us, which is a new army for the channel, so I'm really excited to play them with my Death Guard, because I figured it's been a while since the Death Guard I've been on and I've really been riding the Dark Angels meta train. Enjoying it up until they got nerfed. G-Dub really added the death and Deathwing. But yeah, so you want to tell us about what got you to the Orks?
What got me to the Orks? I like killing stuff. I like to wipe my opponent out, or try. Doesn't matter if I win or lose. But the aim of the game is kill your opponent and throw some dice.
Spoken like a true greenskin. If you haven't already, please remember to like and hit that subscribe button as well. We're still growing our channel and we would really appreciate any interaction that you could have on the channel. So feel free to comment, feel free to subscribe, hit up the notification bell, tell your friends about it as well. We are also on socials, so you can look us up on Instagram and Facebook. So if you search for Six-Sided Scribes, you'll find us there as well. I try to keep it a bit more consistent and try to put up pictures of painting projects and try to be a bit more creative, but it's still a work in progress. We're still learning. And without any further ado, let's get into the mission. So today we've got a 2,000 point match play game from the Orks of Omen Grand Tournament mission pack. The game we're playing is mission 1-3, which is a fan favorite, Data Scry Salvage. So as you can see on the map that should be coming up any second now, it is a 6 objective mission, 4 objectives basically just along the diagonal in no man's land and 1 objective each in each deployment zone. We are deploying diagonally, of course, and the primary mission is, of course, hold 2, hold 3, and hold more than your opponent for 4, 8, and 12 victory points respectively. The mission-specific sub-secondary here is called Data Intercept. So it basically entails that you need to do an action on the objective that's in your deployment zone. Any unit can do it, that isn't an aircraft, of course. And at the end of your turn, you get as many points as the number of objectives that you're holding in no man's land to a max of 3. Besides that, of course, we'll be picking 3 secondaries each, and we'll go through it in just a minute. But for now, let's get into the lists.
All right, so today I'm bringing the Orks. I am playing as Goths, so they get +1 strength when they charge or do a heroic intervention. So today my HQs are a war boss in mega armor. He's my warlord. He has the warlord trait brutal but cunning, so anything that misses on my dice rolls to hit and wound go into a dice pool and I get to re-roll them, so they might get to do more damage. If not, doesn't really matter. So my second war boss is a beast boss on Squigosaurus. He's got a head whopping kill chopper as his relic, so he's got an upgraded chopper. He has follow me lads, which allows every unit that charges the same thing as him, they get +1 to their charge. So my third HQ, I have a Big Mac with shock attack gun. He's very unpredictable, got a really nasty weapon if it happens to go off. If not, he's pretty useless. He's just like a filler unit. I have, for my fourth HQ, I have a Weird Boy. So he's my Psyker. He doesn't really do much. He occasionally jumps a unit, which is his Psyche powered the jump. His second power is Warpath, so he can give another character an extra attack and extra strength for his purposes. Onto my troops. I have 3 units of 10 Beast Snagger boys. They will be all cruising around inside battle wagons. I have another unit of 10. They're just going to be wandering around. They don't actually really do much. Maybe still an objective occasionally. Then onto my fast attack slot. I have 3 units of Squig Hog Riders, probably one of my favourite units of the army because they're really fast and really nasty. Their whole objective of the game is just to get in combat and kill stuff. That's pretty much my objective for the entire army. So in my elite slot, I have 2 units of 5 Mega Knobs. They have Power Claws and they have Combi Shooters, which aren't really the best weapon for shooting. They're my melee tough guys. They're pretty much Terminators. Onto my heavy support, I have a Bonebreaker Battle Wagon, which he's really nasty. Has a Death Roller, which just pretty much runs over the enemy. Always hits on 2s because it's one of its rules, which is really cool. He's really tough. So he's toughness A. I've upgraded him to be a fortress on wheels. So he has a 5+ invulnerable. He's got my HQ. He's got a squad of Mega Knobs inside of him. I have 2 battle wagons. They're not as tough. They're only toughness 7, but they still move as fast carrying all the other infantry. So that's my 2,000 points for today. I'll start with 1 command point. Now onto the Death Guard.
So today for the Death Guard, I have a 2,000 point Orks Foreman detachment with focus on troops. Now, as far as play companies go, I did want to play something a little more different than the usual Inexorable or Mortarian's Anvil that I usually play. So this time I actually thought I'd go with Harbingers. So the cool thing about Harbingers is they make my Poxwalkers really good. So naturally there'll be a lot of Poxwalkers on the table today. But to start off with, let's go through the army. In my HQ slots, I've got Typhus, who of course has to be there because I'm running Harbingers. It doesn't really work as well without him. He's of course going to be my Warlord. He does not have his Warlord trait today because I thought I'd save the CP instead because the Shamble Rod trait isn't really the best. But he does have a Mastercrafted Scythe and he is a Psycho, so that works out really well for me. The psychic powers he knows are Miasma of Pestilence and Putrescent Vitality. So one is of course to make a unit -1 to get hit, and the other one is to get an infantry unit to have +1 strength and toughness. In addition with Typhus, I've also got a Demon Prince. I know a lot of people don't really take a Demon Prince, but I really love this model. It's an old resin Demon Prince, but love the big eye. So he has the Rotten Constitution Warlord trait, and what that does is it gives him an extra point of toughness, so it takes him up to toughness 7, and he ignores AP 1 and 2, so they both count as AP 0, which really pairs well with his relic, which is the Suppurating Plate. So what that does is it gives him a 2-up armor save, and any wounds that he takes in combat, he reflects it back on as a mortal wound, which is pretty fun. Doesn't have wings, just a sword, and he knows the psychic power Gift of Contagion, which basically means I can point at a unit and make them -1 strength, and if I cast high enough, so I think it's an 8 or above, they can be -1 strength and -1 attack. Moving into troops, I have a 10-man squad of Plague Marines. These guys are basically kitted out to be in melee. Sergeant's got a Power Fist, he's got a Plasma Gun, it's all WYSIWYG. Then besides him, I've also got 2 flails, 2 maces, 2 blight launchers, 2 melter guns, and I've got 1 guy with an axe and a mace in there as well. So they're basically just gonna try and get in combat as quickly as possible. Now, as this army is Harbingers, the meat and potato of course has to be Poxwalkers. So I'm running 56 Poxwalkers today, so 2 squads of 20 and a squad of 16, mostly for points. Moving into elites, I have 2 squads of Death Star Terminators. Now, these guys are basically just my hack and slash / bodyguard unit because I'm running a lot of characters in today's list. Besides that, they've got the Plague Sprayers as well. Might do something, might not. I don't know, they'll do, might be worth something. They're 4 strong each. And in addition, I'm also running a Fetid Variant. So it's basically, for those who don't know, it's where I can run 3 elite characters, taking up the 1 detachment slot as long as they are all unique. Now, in today's Fetid Variant, I've taken a Foul Blight Spawn, I've taken a Tallyman, and I've taken a Biologist Putrefier. So let me go through these in order. So the Foul Blight Spawn is of course upgraded with Viscous Death. So you can reroll the number of hits on his Plague Sprayer, and it takes him up to Strength 8, which is going to be super fun. More importantly, he does have the Revolting Stench Vats relic. So that basically gives me a 6-inch aura where anything that charges in counts as not having charged, and it gives me a 3-inch aura where I can point to a unit and make them fight last. It's going to come in really handy in this game. Besides that, I've got a Biologist Putrefier. Now he's good for basically just pointing at units and making sure they put out mortals when they wound, so might be fun. He does have the Arch Contaminator Warlord trade, which is a 6-inch aura for core, where they reroll all wounds with plague weapons in combat, or if they're shooting at a unit that's within 12 inches. Rounding it off is my Tallyman. He has nothing. He's just going to sit in the back, get me my CP every turn. That's all he's ever going to do. On to fast attacks. Now, simple, 2 blood drones, flesh mowers, do what they do, run out, mulch things, and then explode on foes. So that's kind of fun. Moving into heavy support, I have my tried and trusted 2 Plague Burst crawlers. Sit in the back, entropy cannons, strength 8, D3 plus 3 damage, plague weapons, and they've got some pretty good shots coming out of their mortars, not to mention their toughness 8, so they're going to be kind of hard to put down as well. Finally, in my dedicated transport, I have a single rhino, because all the upgrades are free. There's a combi bolter on there with a havoc launcher. His job's just going to be to ferry my plague marines out to where they need to be. Oh, and I forgot to mention earlier, the plague marines that are there, the sergeant has a relic. He's got the plague skull of Glotilla, which he can basically toss out and do mortals again. So this army has a few mortals here and there. Really, I don't know if they're like mount to anything, but they've got the potential to. And that's my list. I am starting this game on 1 command point, and with that, let's move on to deployment.
Today for the Orks, I've chosen the Secondaries, engage on all fronts, so my objective there is to pretty much take over the entire board, which I should be able to do with no worries. I have Assassinate to eliminate all the Death Guard characters, which is one of my primary goals because it's part of my killing. And then my last secondary is Stomp 'em Good, which I get 3 points when I kill more units than he kills of me. And then in addition, if I kill double than what I lost, I score additional victory points. Alright, so let's go on to see what the Death Guard are bringing.
So for my secondaries, I thought I'd be a little more straightforward with how I went. I've taken the 2 Death Guard ones, which everyone takes. The first of which is Spread the Sickness. So basically the only action that my Poxwalkers can do. But basically I need to get onto an objective, infect it. If it's an OBSEC unit, it's done at the end of the turn. If it's not an OBSEC unit, it's done at the end of the turn, but only on a 4-up. The second one I've gone with is Fleeing Vectors. Now, this, I like to think of it as no prisoners but better. So I get victory points for killing models, effectively. The way it works is for every 7 models I kill, I get 2 victory points. If I kill them with a plague weapon, I get an additional victory point. And in the end, in the morale phase, if models flee, I get 2 more victory points. And if they flee because others in their unit died from plague weapons, I get yet another one. So I do have the potential to rack up the points really high, really quickly, which makes sense. And given that it's scored per turn, I can actually score this in my opponent's turn as well. So that's something to remember. The third one I've gone with is Mental Interrogation. It's pretty straightforward. In case my Tallyman doesn't get me my CP, I have another opportunity to CP farm. Plus, given it's Orks and they're going to be running at me in my face, his character is actually going to be coming to me, which makes more sense for me to actually go get Mental Interrogate. And now, on to deployment. Okay, so here we are. We've rolled off for attacker and defender, and we've deployed our armies. So when we rolled off, I rolled a 1, Thomas rolled a 2, so he chose to defend. So he's picked the far side of the board, as you will see, and that's his army deployed. And given he put his army there, logic would dictate that I put my army here. So while we're here, I might as well just quickly take you through my deployment. I've got a squad of Poxwalkers on that end, just to sort of screen that side of the table out. Over here is my Rhino. I've kept it a little further back from the line, just so I can be a bit more conservative. That's got the 10 Plague Marines in there. I've got the Death Shroud behind it. I've got a squad of Poxwalkers inside this building. I've got my Biologist Putrefier back here, so he'll basically just try to see where he can give out his point. Foul Blight Spawn is here. The idea being anything that charges in through this gap here will basically cop the don't count as charged. I've got Typhus here. He's within range of both squads of Poxwalkers, so they're now effectively strength 4 and toughness 4. Bodyguarding him is the squad of Death Shroud Terminators here. And up on this building is my 2 blow drones. So the idea is they're just going to be doing their own thing, depending on where we go, how we end up, who gets turn 1. And sitting in the back here, just holding the back lines, are my 2 Plague Wars crawlers, facing in 2 different directions. No points for guessing where they're going to be headed. But that is basically my deployment here. I've started with everything on the board with the exception of the Plague Marines that are inside the Rhino. Now, over to Thomas. What did you have in mind? What are you thinking? How did you deploy?
Alright, so my game plan is I put all my Squeakhog Riders, I left 1 unit in reserve.
That's because you left it at home.
Yes, because I left it
at home.
So my plan is to move my Squeakhog Riders directly towards the enemy. So I'll probably go pick off the Rhino, or if those bloat drones decide to fly over here, I'd kill them first. My battle wagons are going to control the middle of the board. That's their objective, is to take the 2 objectives in the middle. If there's a third one, I'm pretty sure there is, I'll take that as well. The weird boy down the back has a big blob of 20 Beast Nagger boys. He's going to cast the jump on them just to get them very close for first turn charge. Okay. All the exciting jazz, you'll get to see all their shenanigans and watch everything die miserably.
Yep, mine or yours, or both.
That's it, both.
Nice. Now with that said, are you actually ready to see which green is greener?
Oh, I'm definitely greener.
Okay, let's put that to the test. 2 different shades of green, with 50 shades of green. And to commemorate the 2 green armies that are on the board, we're actually using green dice today. So instead of the white dice, you will see a lot of green dice being rolled. Of course, we'll still have the red and black because orcs need dice by the bucket and we've got dice by the dice tray. Right, 2 green dice rolling. Let's see who goes first.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
That is
Not a good
5 for the Death Guard, 1 for the orcs. I was really hoping you'd go first.
Alright, come at me.
Okay, we'll be back after the movement phase for the Death Guard, turn 1. Okay, so we're back after Death Guard turn 1 movement phase. I was really hoping to not have to go first, but that's the way the dice roll, I suppose. But if you want to pan down, I'll basically show you what I did. So starting with the Tallyman, I rolled his 7-fold chant. Didn't go off. I rolled a 6 and I needed a 7 or higher. So I've just got the 1 CP for the turn, so I'm sitting at 2. He did give his malicious calculation rule to the squad of Death Shroud, so they now hit on 2s but 1 better. Now, what I've done is advanced most of my army with the exception of these Proxwalkers that I just moved a little bit this way, just so they're within Typhus's range, but for the extra strength if they need it. And they're going to do the Spread the Sickness operation on that objective there. The Tallyman moved up as well, and he's going to start doing the mission-specific data intersect action onto that objective as well. Now, let's start from here and move in. So, over here, my Poxwalker's got a 4 on the advance, and they've all sort of advanced out this way. Typhus got a 3, followed them. The Foul Blightspawn got a 4. He's tucked himself in there really neatly. So, basically, the PBC, the Blightspawns, and part of the Poxwalkers are actually covered by his you don't count as having charged aura. The Bloat Drones, I advanced both of them and sent them in 2 separate directions. This one here only got a 1 on the advance. Not the best, but I guess it'll have to do. The PBCs both moved up this way. So they've got lines straight down between the buildings at the big Ork tank. And they're both within range as well. So they might do something, they might not. Let's see. Over here onto this side, I've got my squad of Death Shrouds. They advance. I think they got a 5 on the advance. The Demon Prince got a 6 on the advance. He didn't use his entire 6, but he ended up coming back here. The other Blood Run that flew off in this direction actually got a 6 on the advance, so he is all the way over here. The Rhino got a 4 on the advance, so he basically just circled around and ended up here onto that objective, which will come in handy at the end of the turn when the data intercept action is completed. The Poxwalkers, on the other hand, just got a 3 on their advance, so they're just going to be sitting here. And that is the end of my movement phase. Let's start with some Psychic. Now for Psychic, my Demon Prince is basically out of range of most things, so he's not going to do anything. Typhus is going to cast Putrescent Vitality and try to get it off onto the squad of Poxwalkers here. And while we're at it, he's also going to cast Miasma of Pestilence and try to get that squad of Death Shrouds -1 to hit. I'm going to need a 7 for Putrescent Vitality. Fails on a 6. Okay, so nothing there. Let's try for Miasma of Pestilence. I need a 6 to get off Miasma onto the Death Shrouds. Nope, that fails on a 5. One shy of both. Let's move on to shooting now. Nothing much in the way of shooting because my Rhino, they're advanced. The only things that can shoot are my 2 PBCs. I want to get the PBC that's in front to shoot the big Ork tank with the scary roller. What's it called?
Bone Breaker.
The Bone Breaker tank. Okay, let's see if I can break the Bone Breaker. I'll spend 1 CP on Disgusting Force. Let's start with the entropy cannon. It's 2 shots hitting on 3s. Strength 8, but it's a plague weapon. The mortar, D6 shots to reroll that. Both hit though. Strength 8, needing 4s. That's 1 wound.
I need a 4 up to pass my save. Sweet.
Now let's see what else takes mortal wounds. What do you have around there in the 3 inches around it? Let's start. So let's do the Big Mech on a 4 up, the Weird Boy on a 4 up, the Squighog boys, the Beast Snagger boys. So let's do the Heavy Sluggers, 4 shots.
Alright, so I'll take a 3 up save on the Bone Breaker.
No, fails it. Takes 1 damage. Alright, let's repeat it with the second PBC. And I'm going to do this backwards now. So let's start with the Heavy Sluggers. 4 shots, 3 hits, 5s.
I'll have a 3 up on the Bone Breaker.
Let's do the Mortar. D6 shots, 2 shots again.
Love it.
1 hit. That is a wound though, AP2.
So I'm taking a 4 up armor save, which I passed.
Nice. Let's do the Entropy Cannons. Strength 8, so 4s.
Yep.
Rerolling 1s for Plague.
Alright, I'll take my 5+ invulnerable save.
Yep. D3 plus 3 damage for 5 damage. And with that, suboptimal turn. That is the end of my turn.
That wasn't nice.
And we'll be back after the Orcs have come up for their turn 1. Okay, so we're back with the Orks turn 1, but I just thought I'd steal the camera for a quick second just to let you know that I rolled for my Tallyman 7-fold chant again because you can do it every turn. I got a 7 this time, so I've gone from no CP to 2. Now on to Thomas.
Alright, so I declared a war. I didn't yell it because it makes me feel stupid. Now, a war for me to call it first turn is to give units that don't normally have an invulnerable save. So the other 2 battle wagons, they don't have an invulnerable, but now they do, which is a 5+ from the war. So the first wave of the war gives everything a 5+ invulnerable save and +1 to their attack and strength. So I advanced my units of Squighog Riders. I rolled very, very bad. As you can see, I rolled a 2 on this unit, a 3 on my boss that I had to command point reroll. That turned out worse anyway.
What are we saying about the dice?
Alright, so the green dice, unfortunately, are terrible. We don't want the green dice. We throw all the green dice in the bin. I roll black dice, I roll very well. I rolled 5s and 6s for my advanced roll. So we're rolling all black dice now. And black is good because Goths are black.
Okay.
That's their thing.
Alright, so more green dice for me then.
That's it, more for you. Yeah. I advanced all 3 battle wagons up to the center. And as you can see, I have taken the objectives that I wanted. Now, because they advanced, they're not going to do any secondaries or anything. They're just going to hang out and yell at each other and throw rocks at the Proxwalkers.
Okay.
I'm about to go into my psychic phase and jump my unit of Beast Snagger boys. I'm going to get these trusty black dice because they're all better. So I need a 7, which we didn't get.
Ooh.
So now we're sad. So that unit of Beast Snagger boys is just going to chill there for another turn. They're not going to do anything. Now we're going to go for a shooting phase, which we I only have one thing to shoot, two things to shoot actually.
Okay.
We have the Bone Breaker. So he's going to shoot at the front Plague Burst Crawler.
Okay.
Hits on 5s. Yes, it advanced, so it hits on 6s. It missed. Alright, so the big mech here is going to shoot his shock attack gun into the Death Shroud Terminators that are inside the building, through the archway.
2d6.
2d6 for the strength.
Okay.
I get d6 shots. So let's see what we get. We get 3 shots.
Okay.
We need a 4+ to hit. We like the black dice again. They're very good. 4+ to wound.
4 ups.
So d6 damage.
2 down to 1. I can live with that.
All right, we're going to go for charges now.
Okay. What do we
So,
have? Everything here, I guess.
I'm going to send the Beast Boss into the Rhino.
Okay.
Hopefully he gets there because then everything else will get +1 to their charge.
Okay.
I'm going to send the unit of Beast Snagger Squidcog Riders also into that. This unit's just going to chill.
Okay.
I don't know how good Prox Walkers are in combat, but we're going to attempt to charge with both battle wagons into the Prox Walkers.
Okay. Alrighty. Let's do some charges and we'll come back.
Alright, so I made an 11-inch charge with my boss into this Rhino.
You had to use Here We Go.
Had to use Here We Go for all my charges
because
we rolled really bad. So the boss got an 11-inch charge off. He brought in his little posse of Squidcog Riders. They made it in too. My battle wagon on the other side against the Poxwalkers. It's basically there to be a nuisance and not tie things up in combat.
Okay.
And
this one here failed, didn't it?
And the other battle wagon failed. I can't roll with the black dice for some reason.
So, given where his battle wagon ended up, I actually had Typhus heroically intervene 3 inches into combat. And again, given where the battle wagon ended up, he is within 6 inches of my Foul White Spawn's Stench Bats, so now he does not count as having charged. So you lose all your Goff benefits.
So I'm going to start over here with the Beast Boss.
Yep.
So we hit on 2s. So we're strength 9, he's toughness 7, we're wounding on 3s.
So 5 ups. Let's see if he explodes. Nope, close. But oh well. So I want to use the red dice now because I've got guys getting out and it is an emergency. So let's see what we can do. 2 guys dropped. Not good. The Rhino was here. Everybody basically disembarked as far back as possible. And yeah, I lost 2, so I've taken out the 2 guys with the melter guns. So that hurts a little bit, but just makes me even more killy in combat, I guess. Thomas, what have you done here, buddy?
I consolidated and piled in my Squidcog Riders into combat so he can strike me. So I've kind of movement blocked anything that wants to come through that way.
So let's start protracted combat here, because that doesn't count as having charged. So I'll activate Typhus to fight. Now, given my contagion range is 1 inch, you are technically in contagion, so you're -1 toughness. So you are now toughness 6. Right, now 6 attacks, hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s, rerolling 1s.
Oof. Okay. Because I called the war, I have a 5+ invulnerable save, so I need 5s. Since you turned off my awesomeness of charge and the war, so we're going to hit Typhus. So we need a 5+, which we don't like these dice anymore. So 3s, we got 2 wounds with no AP.
2 ups, make them both.
Oh no.
So now my Plague Marines can fight over here. I will pile in and see what we can do in terms of damage. They are just outside of my Demon Prince's range, and by just outside I mean outside by 2 inches. This is going to be a lot of dice, so we'll probably have to come back in a minute. Okay, so we thought we'd do it off camera because there's way too much dice rolling and all the Plague Marines have different weapons. Didn't go as well as I'd like for it to have gone, but we're here for the saves. Now, we've got 1 attack that went through on the cleaver, so that is AP 4.
So give us a 5. I'm not rolling green dice anymore.
So that is D6 damage.
Cool.
6 saves from the flails at AP 2.
5 up invulnerable because of the war. So 2 at a time. Next 2. So I'll roll another one, which we're fine.
Okay.
All right, what else we got?
Awesome. Then we've got the Power Fist.
So I roll these two.
Yep, so that's the Power Fist and the Knife.
And then the last one, so I'll kill him off.
That is 4 models dead. I think you owe me a leadership on that.
Let's have luck from the viewers. We pass, we're staying there.
Okay, nice.
Alright.
So I still have to fight the Poxwalkers over here. Won't do much, but hopefully I can get some more movement out of it. Okay, so Typhus consolidated, moved around that way. And now I've activated the Poxwalkers over here. They've basically piled in. Made sure to not base, so I can basically consolidate and get a bit more movement out of it. So they are now strength 4, and I've got everyone that can fight except for these 5 in the back. 30 attacks, hitting on 4s, because of Typhus. 5 to wound.
Yeah, 3 up saves. So overall, my combat phase wasn't as good as I wanted it to be, but it is what it is. We can make up for it next turn.
And with that, we'll probably be back after Death Guard turn 2.
Wait.
Okay, so we're back. Death Guard turn 2. Command phase stuff. Typhus actually got to use his Destroy Hive for the first time ever. Ended up being 1 mortal wound into the battle wagon. That's literally it. Besides that, Tallyman tried to get me my 7-fold chance CP. Failed again. Rolled a 6. Movement phase stuff. My PBC back here moved up a little bit just to sort of deep strike deny him, still keep range. Still maintaining a beat on the Bonebreaker. The other one moved up here a little bit, and from where he is, he of course has direct line of sight to the other battle wagon, but he can also see the boys in the back, the beast snaggers. So guess where the mortar is going? Besides that, the blow drone that was here moved up 10 inches, landed up here. I got really lucky that he didn't get the jump last turn, so just to sort of keep my backline safe and deep strike deny him a little bit, my Poxwalkers moved up back there. Over on this side, my Demon Prince moved up, and the Death Shard Terminators basically just walked up in a straight line. That's where they ended up. The blow drone flew over them, dropped over there. Besides that, the Poxwalkers here advanced. I was hoping that I wouldn't have to, but he moved block me with his Squighog Riders.
Yes.
That's what they're called. Awesome. I'm getting this. So, while I'm in combat, I just remembered that the Sergeant of the Plague Marines that's stuck in combat there with the Squighog Riders actually has the Plague Skull of Glotilla. So I'm going to use that now at the end of the movement phase. The way it works is I roll 7 dice. On a 4 and a 5, he takes a mortal wound. On a 6, he takes D3. So let's see what we can do and hopefully try to kill those off. So that's 7 dice, 4s and 5s and 6s are what we want. So we've got 1, 2, 3 mortal wounds there already. And D3 from this one. For 3 more. Whew!
Oh well, they died.
Ah,
Now I have reserves. Woo!
that actually helps me a lot because now, because it's the end of the movement phase, the Plague Marines can't move. But because the dude with the flail is actually within range of the objective, I can actually start spreading the sickness there too. Now, let's move on to the psychic phase. I'm going to start with the Demon Prince, and I'm going to try to mentally interrogate your character.
Cool.
On a 4, that gets done. Let's see what I get. Mental interrogation. That's a 7. That means he has been interrogated, and I get points for mental interrogation. Pure and Vitality from Typhus. Let's see if I can get it off on a 7.
4.
That's an 8. That goes off. Would you like to deny?
I would 100% like to deny. I'm not going to roll those dice. I'm going to. These ones from my
Arc
luck look
dice.
like they could be good. Nope, they're useless.
That means my Death Shrouds are now +1 strength and toughness. Typhus for a second cast will go for Miasma of Pestilence on the same squad of Death Shrouds. Let's see what I can get. Needing a 6. Okay, so they are now -1 to hit and +1 strength and toughness. Okay, so shooting phase. My Demon Prince actually has a Plague Spewer. D6 shots into the Beast Boss. Needing 5s, rerolling 1s.
So let's get some 5s.
Let's do the same thing with the Death Shard Terminators. 5d6 auto hits. Wounding on 6s, rerolling 1s.
Let's get some 4s. Oh crap.
Next, I'm going to use my Foul Blight Spawn to shoot out of the building that he's in at the Bonebreaker. See, I got it right this time. So d6 shots with Viscous Death for 3. Let's re-roll it.
Haha.
That is a wound though. So 5
up, and we nailed it with a 6.
Nailed it! So I'm going to do the same thing with my Death Shrouds. Wounding on 6s, but re-rolling everything from the Arch Contaminator on the Biologist Putrefier.
Oh.
2 ups.
8 2+ saves. Please don't give me 1s. Yay, look at them sixes.
No ones. PBC. Let's start with this one here. I'm going to put everything into the bone breaker. So let's start with the mortar. Hitting on 3s, 4s.
Your AP 2, let's get some 4s. Oh, damage.
2. Let's do the heavy sluggers. 5s. Let's go for the entropy cannons now.
Love it.
Snake eyes. Let's move on to the other PBC. So I'm going to put the mortars and the sluggers into the beast snaggers in the back, and the entropies into the battle wagon here. 2 entropy cannons into the battle wagon. Not a wound. Okay, entropy cannons really letting the team down today. Let's do the mortar, because blast. Wounding on 2s, 3s.
So I'll take my 5 up invulnerable.
Let's do the sluggers. Something's really weird today.
Invulnerable.
Okay, so that's the shooting phase done. Again, suboptimal, but this is a combat list, so charges are where it's at. Let's see what we can do with the charges. We'll finish all our charges and we'll be back after that. Okay, so charge phase has been fun. Cost me 1 CP to do it, but it's been fun. So if you want to pan down, I'll take you through what I did. My blood drone ended up making a 9-inch charge, needed a 6, but now he's in combat there. Thomas did spend a CP to Overwatch with all the spears that he had, but nothing hit. Blood drones are just mean. Anyway, so nothing hit. Over here, I got a relatively low charge with my Death Star Terminators, just a 4, but that was just enough to get the front guy in engagement with the war boss. The Demon Prince rolled a 6, which was just barely what he needed again to get into combat. He's there. So that end is done. Nothing over here. So over here, I used the Biologist Putrefier to use his Foul Infusion ability on the Death Star Terminators, and then they proceeded to make a 9-inch charge and wrap the battle wagon all around, leaving a little gap over there, which my Foul Blightspawn then filled up with another 9. I have made it such that he is still within 6 of the Death Shroud, so they still have their Arch Contaminator. Typhus stayed where he was, the Poxwalker stayed where they were, so now ideally the whole thing should be perfectly wrapped. The Bloodtron here had to make a 6-inch charge into the battle wagon, only rolled a 4, which is where I had to spend the 1 CP. Managed to get an 8, so now he's in combat there as well. And of course, using the Foul Blightspawn's ability for what it's worth, he's going to make the battle wagon fight last. Okay, so let's start with the Death Shroud. I've already taken the liberty to pile them in. Just managed to get all 4 of them in combat. I'm going to use their big swingy profiles. They're going to be hitting on 3s, re-rolling 1s. And re-rolling the 1s into all hits. Yep, strength 7, toughness 6, so wounding on 3s, re-rolling 1s.
So we're needing 5s. He's dead. We decided to interrupt the drone, and now we're going to attack. So we have 24 attacks from the riders, hitting on 3s against the drone. And 6s will explode. Going for 3s.
There you go. Needing 4s.
So I'll just quickly knock out the 6 attacks off the Gretchen. These will still hit on 3s as well. 6s explode. We got 3 6s, the 3 that missed. That's good. And I'll need 5s.
Yep. 3 ups.
And then we'll do the squigs. Give them 6s. 3s again.
5 ups. On a 4+, he goes boom. He does.
That's rude.
So I am going to go with my Death Star Terminators. They are super beefed up. So I just realized that it was a good thing that I put Future and Vitality on them, because that takes them to Strength 8, which is over the Strength 7 that would otherwise trigger the Battle Wagon's Ramshackle. So now they take the full force of the attack. Plus, I've spent a CP for Vermid Whispers, which makes them +1 to hit, which negates the -1 that they cop from using the big swing on their sides. So effectively, they're hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s from Typhus, and wounding on 3s, and rerolling everything, because they're within 6 of the Biologist Putrefier, and 6s to wound cause mortals in addition from his Foul Infusion. 2s rerolling 1s, wounding on 3s, rerolling everything, rerolling So that's 11 saves at AP 3 2 damage, and you take 3 mortal wounds in addition.
So 5s and 4. And he took another 6 wounds, so he's dead.
12, 13, 14, 15.
So he's destroyed. Does he go kaboom?
Okay, let's see if he goes kaboom.
Now we want to wish for a 6. Everyone wants to wish for a 6. You want to roll?
I don't want to wish for a 6. And now, because he is actually surrounded, there is no way that he can place a unit, anything within 3 inches of the destroyed battle wagon and out of engagement range of any of my units. And he doesn't have any CP to Desperate Breakout either, which means everything in there dies.
It is what it is. It happens.
So I activated my Foul Blight Spawn. Nothing he could fight into, so he basically piloted and consolidated 6 inches that way towards the battle wagon and ended up over there. Next up, I am going to go with the blow drone into the other battle wagon there. Woohoo! Let's see what I can do to that. 12 attacks, hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s, re-rolling once because plague weapons.
So go up to a 5 up, and that's cocked. Yay! There we go. Yeah. The battle wagon is the drone eating 5s, 3s.
3 ups.
Boom! Take that.
My plague marines have not completed the spread the sickness action, so that's done there. And over here, my death shards are within 3 of that objective, so because they've got obsec, they now hold that, which comes in really handy for me for my data intercept that my tallyman was doing back here. So that would get me 3 points. That would get me 2 points for my data intercept, and that's 2 points. Well, 2 objectives where the sickness has been spread. So that should be 7, I think. I do get some points for fleeing vectors, but not as much as I'd like. Let's go from that. And now on to Thomas.
So for my movement phase, I didn't advance anything. I just moved. So I moved my Squeakhog Riders over a little bit, holding the objective to make some room for my reserves, so they can come over and mess up this unit. That's my plan, to wipe them out completely. I moved my battle wagon up after he disembarked the boss and the unit of Mega Knobs. They're going to go punch something in the face because they killed their other battle wagon and all their little homies. The other battle wagon in the corner fell back after disembarking the boys, so they can come out and punch the drone in the face.
Oof,
now we're going to attempt to jump these squad of 18 Beast Snagger boys. We need a 7 to jump.
Denying. Denied. Also, thought I'd quickly take a minute before I forget to say that I did try my 7-fold chant at the start of this turn. Unfortunately, my tallyman is too busy intercepting data to actually count properly. So instead of a 7, he got a 6. And that's why I only get the 1 CP this turn.
Alright, now we're going to shoot some stuff since our psychic powers don't work. We're going to shoot my Bone Breaker.
Yep.
At the Plague Bear Scroll in the corner. It's needing a 5. Nope, don't worry about that. The Big Mech with Shock Attack Gun.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to shoot the Plague Bear's Crawler over the side there. So we're going to roll for strength. The number of shots.
Okay.
Need a 4+.
Strength 5. Yeah.
No, we failed. No. Don't even worry about him. He's just useless. Continue shooting. We're going to shoot the Mega Knobs in the middle here.
Mm-hmm.
At that stupid drone. So they have 4 shots each.
Yep.
5s. We need 5s again.
2 3-ups.
We're going to shoot the War Boss. He's Grot Gunner, which is the little homie on the top. So needing 4s. Whoops. 5s. Let's send some pistols from the boys.
Yep.
So it's 10 pistols
back
into the drone.
Okay.
So needing 5s to hit the drone. So we need 5s again. Seems to be the AP that's doing nothing.
Yep, it's fine.
We're going to throw some spears at these guys.
Okay.
From here.
Yep.
So need 4s. 3s.
Okay.
Alright, we're moving on to the charge phase now. So let's go mental.
Okay.
Alright, so I did my charges. I made most of them. I was greedy and re-rolled a lot of my charges because I wanted more movement. So we sent Squeakhog Riders in. They got a 9 when they only needed like a 4. So why not? I got 7 over here with the other unit. I just moved them over so I could get more guys in. My Bone Breaker sucks and it doesn't make a charge ever. My boys decided to charge the Death Shroud and the Bloat Drone to suck up his Overwatch.
Did quite well, if I might add. Yeah, so spend a CP for Overwatch. Ended up killing 7 of them. I did not think I'd do so well. So that gives me my points for fleeing vectors. 7 models killed with plague weapons.
I sent my war boss in Mega Armor over. He's made a what, an 11-inch charge, which was ridiculous. He needed like a 3 and made it 11. The Mega Knobs came over with a 6, which they almost failed.
Okay.
Oh yeah, the boys got an 8. Lost half, majority of the unit, but doesn't matter.
But they've tied up the
tied
patron.
up 2 units.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we're gonna go.
And then it's going to be interesting. And this is where the Death Guard sort of come into their own. Because everything that he's charged is within 6 inches of my foul blight spawn, nothing counts as having charged over here. So they lose all their charge bonus from being Goths. They lose their fight first privileges, all of that. And I also made the war boss here fight last. Over here into the building, the way the knobs ended up, they were just within 3 of Typhus, so they could Typhus could heroically intervene, and that's where he's ended up. So he's in combat now with them as well. And over here, my Demon Prince has ended up in combat with the Squighawk boys because he heroically intervened as well. I reckon I could weather that storm because everything that he hits me with is basically AP1 and AP2, which I ignore because of my Warlord trait, and I'm basically making 2 up armor saves because of my sub-rating plate. That's the one. So that's the end of the charge phase, I guess. Overwatch did well. Everything heroically intervened. Things are fighting last. Over to you, Thomas.
All right, so let's kill some stuff. All right, so we're gonna activate these guys. He's gonna pile in, zip over here. So now everyone gets a strike. So what I'll do is I'll send 4 of them into the Demon Prince.
Yep.
And then 2 of them into
The Death Strap.
the Death Shroud. So we'll do the Demon Prince first.
Yep.
So we have decided to roll everything into the Demon Prince that needs to be rolled because it's all AP1 and 2. And the Demon Prince has some stupid rule where he ignores it all. So we're going to roll it all together.
And it's just going to be 1 damage regardless, because 2 damage with Disgusting Resilient comes down to 1, and 1 damage, can't change it, stays at 1. So
3s, 6s explode. Let's see what we get. 3s.
that's 11 saves on 2 up armors. So, because I failed that, on a 2 up, it's a mortal wound. Yep,
Cool.
that is a mortal wound back at you.
Alright, and then I'll do the other 2 squigs into the Death Shrouders. Alright, so I'll do the Riders first.
Yep.
And then I'll do the squigs.
Okay.
Alright, so Riders are hitting on 3s.
The 3 ups.
2 damage each for any fails.
Comes down to 1.
And then we have the Squig Jaws get to strike. We're hitting on 3s. Hopefully we can get some 6s. We got 1 6.
You got 1.
Strength 8, so we'll need 3s.
So 4 ups. Sorry, 3 ups? No. Either way, make them all. Okay, so now that he's fought, I'm going to spend 2 CP to interrupt myself. And I will be going with this squad of Death Strike Terminators here and kill this squad of Squighawk Riders before they kill me. So hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s from the Demon Prince. Reroll 1s. And 3s to wound again, rerolling 1s.
Alright, so we've got 1 Squighawk Rider left to fight back.
On 1 wound.
On 1 wound. So we need 3s. We're going to need 3s again.
3 up. Makes it.
Cool, and then his Squig gets to strike with 2 attacks. Needing 3s. I'm going to need a 3 again.
Alright, so we did some big brain stuff. Turns out that Thomas and I were sort of going back and forth about whether to get the knobs to fight on death, because it's a strat that the Orks have. I'm not sure what it's called. But turns out that's a 2 CP strat and Thomas only has 1. So that's a non-starter.
What can you do?
Affects a lot of things for me because since the war boss is fighting last, I can actually activate Typhus now. Since we're back into protracted combat, and technically they don't count as having charged, thanks to the foul light spawn, I'm going to use Typhus and put all his attacks into the Mega Knobs. Hitting on 3s with his big sight, strength 8, toughness 4. So strength 7, sorry, strength 7. So 3s, rerolling 1s.
Maybe 3, so I'll be on a 5.
Yep.
Sweet, that's better than my invulnerable. So
Boys fighting into the Death Shroud.
yes.
Okay, easy done.
So we hit on 2s because the boss is there.
Is that just
So everything gets +1 to hit. So hit on 2s, 6s explode. Yep, so 5s.
3 ups.
And then the power snapper.
Yep.
Which is on the knob. I'll hit on 2s as well. So 3s.
4 ups. Regardless. Okay, so now that sucks for me because the guy that I killed puts the Death Shroud out of Arch Contaminator range.
Yay!
Anyway, let's go, but they can still go for 6s. So now we're going to put the Death Shrouds, because I forgot about the knobs, and they're going to put everything into the War Boss. Yeah, so I'm going to put these 3 guys into the War Boss, use the big swingy side, and yep, and I'll spend 1 CP for one of the Whispers. Hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s from Typhus.
Shroud.
So wounding on 3s, rerolling 1s, 6s are mortals in addition.
Oh, yay.
These 2 miss. Not 6s. Nope. 4 up inlands.
4s. I'm going to use my last CP to do a command point reroll. Hopefully keep him alive. If he stays alive, there's going to be carnage.
50-50 chance.
Nailed it.
Ah!
Woohoo!
So close.
Alright, so I'm going to do my Mega Knobs into the Death Shroud Terminators first. And then I'll do my boss into the Death Shroud Terminators.
Okay.
We get -1 to hit from the Power Claw, but we get +1 to hit from the boss. So we hit on 3s. So needing 3s, hoping for 6s. We got no 6s and we missed with 3 of them.
Okay, I'm more than happy with that.
3s.
So that is 4 up inlands.
Oh,
Make them all. Perfect.
loaded dice. Now we got the boss. Alright, so I hit on 2s with the boss.
Yep.
Hoping for
-3, -1, so 3s.
3s.
Yeah,
but I get
yeah, -1.
But I get +1 to hit.
So
threes.
3s again. 4 ups.
Take that. Overall, my unfortunate thing that stuffed me for this entire game is my jump hasn't happened. So that's kind of annoyed me, but it is what it is. I will do morale everywhere.
Yep. So
We got -1.
Oh, my Demon Prince has to fight back. So I forgot, my Demon Prince can fight back too. He has 6 attacks with the sword and 1 additional one with his claw. 6 attacks into the Squighogs, hitting on 2s. 3s to wound.
Oof. 2, 6 up invulnerable.
Yep.
Damage.
3 each. So let's do 1 additional attack with the claw. Misses.
Yay.
Cool.
So I had forgotten to do my Gretchen that are riding on the back. They get an attack each. So we hit on 4s, 5s. We got a wound with no AP. Success.
Oh. On a 2 up, he goes back. Yep, it goes back as a mortal wound.
Son of a... Morale, I passed all my morale. Well, I passed on the Squigog Riders. Both units passed successfully. The Mega Knobs, they might be a bit restless, a bit scared because they got belted one. So, I failed the morale. One ran away and the other one didn't die.
Okay.
And we're here to fight another day.
Okay. Let's do this.
We need to score up points.
Yes. So that's basically been the turn. We'll sum up some points and do some more command phase and movement phase shenanigans, and we'll see you at the end of the movement phase for the Death Guard turn 3. Okay, so turn 3 for the Death Guard. We did a few command phase things, we did a few movement phase things, and I'll walk you through them. So command phase, my Tallyman actually managed to get me a CP from a 7-fold chant. That was very crucial, and I'll explain it to you why in a second. But again, there was nobody he could point with his malicious calculation, so he's just sitting there doing his maths. Also in the command phase, Typhus actually used his Destroy Hive, which is basically pick a unit, and on a 2-up they take D3 mortal wounds. So guess what the War Boss is? He's basically swatting away flies in the warp. So he's now dead from the flies, which basically gives me unanimous control of that objective. Not that I didn't have it before. My Death Shroud Terminator that was in combat with the knob fell back, just so he can be sprayed by the Foul Blightspawn. So Typhus has moved up here, just outside the building. And I'm going to try and mentally interrogate the Big Mac over there. Over here, the blow drone that was here, that was in combat there, flew over because he was free because the War Boss was dead. So this PBC moved up this way so he can actually see the Beast Snagger boys, that's on the end over here with the mortar and the slugger. That's the intent. Same with this PBC here, and both of them can actually see this big bone breaker here. So guess where the entropies are going? Over here, the Poxwalkers actually moved up this way, and that's that. Over here, nothing much. The Death Star stayed in combat. Demon Prince stayed in combat, but the Plague Marines sort of moved up that way. If need be, they can get into combat as well. Poxwalkers didn't really know what to do with them, so they advanced. And I just got a 1 on the advance, so they're just going to chill behind the building, do what Poxwalkers do. With that, let's get into the psychic phase now. You ready for that? Cool.
Let's go.
Let's do the psychic phase. So I'm going to start with the Demon Prince.
Cool.
And he's going to smite into the Squig Hog boys, the Squig Hog Riders. Cool. Let's see if I can smite. Yep, that's a smite. So for D3, just the 1. Let's do Typhus, who will now mentally interrogate the big mech. I presume you would want to deny this?
I definitely would like to deny.
Okay. So...
I can't deny that shit.
Does that count as a perils?
Yeah.
Because it's a psychic action, it's not a cast. Alright, let's say it's a perils. I will take the D3 mortal wounds. Can't deny that, so that's good. Anyway, that's my psychic phase done. Let's go into shooting. Now, I'm going to have these etched out here. Alright, so let's put 2. So I'm going to put these 2 into him, the other 2 into them. 3 into the one guy there. 5 rerolling 1s.
So going for 4s, he's dead.
He's dead. Cool, that's what I needed. Other 2 into
The other unit.
the other unit. Wounding on 5s, rerolling 1s again.
Oof.
He's gonna spray the knob. So that. Wounding on 2s.
And he died.
He died. He did. Onto these things here. Let's start with the PVC that's in the back. I'm going to put the entropy cannons into the Bonebreaker, the mortars and the sluggers into the Beast Snagger boys in the back. 2 entropy cannons. 2 entropy cannons.
So we'll take our 5 up in Von.
So 6 shots because of blast into the Squig Hogs in the back. So 3 to wound.
6 up invulnerable save for us. Oh, one
Oh
die.
wow, makes 2. And let's do the sluggers. 2 hit. 2 wound though.
2 wound.
Actually no, 1 wound.
1 wound, so 6.
Rinse and repeat with the next PBC. That's the one in the front. 2 entropy cannons into the Bonebreaker. 2 entropy cannons into the Bonebreaker.
4.
Plague weapon into another one. Okay, does nothing. Mortars. Plague weapon rerolls.
6s. Kill 2 more.
Cool. Let's do the sluggers next.
6s.
I think that's my shooting phase. Let's do some charges. Let's start with the Poxwalkers. I'm going to put them into the Bonebreaker.
Cool. So the death roller, when you charge or I charge on a 2+, you cop D3 mortals. 2+, not roll a 1, so it goes off. How many mortals you copping? 3 it is.
Okay. 6 are feeling my pains. Ignore 1, so you only kill 2 Poxwalkers.
Yay! I killed like 4 points.
Let's put the Plague Marines into combat with the other Squig Hogs back there. Whatever they need.
That's enough.
6 would get them in. Blow Drone into the truck.
Cool.
Into the Battle Wagon.
Yep.
He needs bugger all. So let's see if I can get that again with Typhus, who needs a 9 to make it to the Battle Wagon. Okay, so we've charged and moved all the models that we needed to. Let's start fighting. So let's go in order. I'll start with the Plague Marines here. So it's unlikely that they're going to survive all the attacks that's coming from the Plague Marines there, and the Death Star and the Demon Prince. So Thomas has graciously. Okay, I want to get this right one of these times. Thomas has graciously offered to just pull them off the table in interest of time.
They won't survive. It's not possible.
Okay, so we've piled in with the Poxwalkers, and we've only got 1 over here that can't fight. And we're going to do the only thing the Harbingers are good for, which is the OG Kazakin Bomb. So for those that don't know, it's a 2 CP combination that you can use on the Poxwalkers. One of which is called Mutant Strain, And what that means is Poxwalkers, every time they hit, on a hit roll of a 6, they cause a mortal wound to the opponent and the attack sequence ends. And on a hit roll of a 1, they cause a mortal wound themselves. Being in Harbingers, however, gives me access to another stratagem that basically lets me reroll all hits. So effectively, I go fishing for 6s. That is the only thing that the Harbingers are good for. It's a bit of a that's why it's a bit of a meme list. There's one thing they're known for. Imperial Guard, stop hogging the Kazagan bomb. We made it. Let's call it the Poxwalker bomb now. Guys, let's call it the Poxwalker bomb. 34 attacks, hitting on 4s, 6s are what we want. Now for the rerolls. And I do take 6 mortal wounds to myself. So clearly it's already destroyed, so that doesn't matter. But let's see how many Poxwalkers die in the process. 4 Poxwalkers die. So worth it.
Explosion! No.
Now onto the blood drone, into the battle wagon. 12 attacks, hitting on 3s. So strength 7, toughness 6 in contagion. We're rerolling 1s for plague weapons. Thank goodness.
5s, need 5s. Need 5s. Got 2.
Nice.
But 6s explode, so 3.
You got 3.
So 3s for 2.
So 3 ups, make them both.
Cool.
So I'm not sure if I mentioned it to camera, but my Poxwalkers were doing Spread the Sickness on this objective here. So I'm 3 objectives down for Spread the Sickness this game. I think that's the end of my turn. I do hold 1 objective there, the second objective that's down here with the Plague Marines, and of course the third one here with the Poxwalkers, the fourth one being contested between the Blood Drone and the Battle Wagon. So that would still get me 3 points for Data Intercept. Alright, let's have a look to see if the Beast Snagger boys here actually need a morale check.
Alright, so we lost 5. We have a leadership of 7. We need a 1 or a 2. Give us one of these. Nothing died.
So I get more points for fleeing vectors. Also, Typhus took 3 mortal wounds, but decided to interrogate the one guy there. And yeah, it's been a decent turn for me. Do you want to clap back and see how much harder you can hit?
Sure.
Alrighty, we'll be back.
Be a quick turn.
Yep.
Very quick.
And we'll be back after the movement phase for the Orks. Turn 3.
So at the start of my turn, I get a CP. I move the boys forward a little bit. We're going to hope for the jump. If we don't get the jump, it's pretty much game over because I can't do anything. I might kill Typhus with a shock attack gun when it comes to shooting.
Okay.
So we're going to cast the jump on the boys. Let's see if they finally get it after 3 turns of not being successful. So I need a 7.
I will try and deny that.
Don't deny it.
So denying.
No.
6. I'm going to spend my CP to deny that. Reroll that denial.
Deduction.
CP.
No.
8.
Damn it.
Denied.
We're going to attempt to shoot with the shock attack gun into Typhus.
Typhus? Okay.
Typhus, yeah.
Typhus. We're shooting Typhus.
We've got to roll for our strength. Give us a big number.
5 again.
Every single turn. Number of shots. 2. We can CP reroll this.
Yep.
We hit on 4s. And then force to wound.
4 ups. Makes both.
Son of a bitch. And I think overall, we should call it because I can't charge you.
Yeah.
It will be my first game I've ever conceded with Orks. Ever. Period. Usually I get tabled.
Jeez. I guess we'll do the final addition of all the scores, talk out through what's probably going to be the last turn, and then we'll see you for the post-game debrief. Okay, so that's the end of the game, guys. I really hope you like it. We've done the final scores, and it is a resounding victory to the Death Guard, coming in at 94 points to the Orks 25.
Sad day.
So yeah, it's a sad day for the Orks, but I guess this answers the question: who's greener?
Deep down, we're still greener inside.
Yeah,
Our flesh is green.
Yeah, your inside's green, like Red's green in the armor. That's true. Yeah. That is true. So you get the green victory. But what did you think of the game? Thomas, what do you think went well? What do you think hurt you?
All right. So what?
Okay, we're doing this.
So what really hurt is for 3 turns I failed my jump, which was one of my major things I needed in turn 1. Even turn 2 would have been effective, but I can't roll, and I didn't get to roll my favourite dices. So it is what it is. That kind of really stuffed me because it's like 100 odd attacks into anything would have decimated it. But that didn't work. And then he managed to wrap one of my battle wagons and took out my Mega Knobs and a unit of 10 Beast Snagger boys. Yeah. So he just wiped out 400 points worth of staff, which eliminated 2 of my units that could have been effective.
Yeah, that hurt. That did hurt. I can imagine that.
I'll get revenge, don't you worry.
Well, it did hurt me when you basically just interrupted there and killed my blow drone, because that basically kept me from getting into the flank up front and going there. For what it's worth, it did hurt, because now see, it was a good thing that I didn't take engage, because I was contemplating taking engage as a secondary. But it's a good thing I didn't. Look, I mean, that hurt, and I think also just the fact that where you charged me with your Mega Knobs, your War Boss, and your boys were all within 6 inches of the revolting stench fats.
Yes.
So your War Boss fighting last, and everything else counting as not having charged. That sort of hurt a little bit. Yeah,
that was frustrating.
Yeah.
When things don't get their buffs, they don't get to be like strength 9 or strength 8 and just like, oh, you got cool guys, they're dead. No, it's I don't get nothing of that.
Yep. Yeah.
Sad days. Those Mega Knobs are going to turn back into mushrooms and think about what they've done.
Yeah, and then they'll be back, and then I'm going to have to freaking kill them again, because the kind of mushrooms that I want to grow are the wrong kind of mushrooms, like you are. So, either way, I think the Foul Blast one did a lot of work. Demon Prince, he held his own. Like, even his relic sort of came in handy. Otherwise, the Squighawk boys would have made short work of him as well, I reckon.
Yeah, I don't think your Demon Prince was as effective as I thought he was going to be.
Yeah.
Kind of sad days for the Demon Prince.
Yeah. Now I see why people don't take Demon Princes. Like, I think you get much more utility if you, say, drop a Demon Prince, drop one of the Death Star Terminators, and just take 2 Malignant Playcasters.
Yep.
So that's 2 additional Psychers that you get. Or, you drop the Demon Prince, take a regular Lord of Contagion instead of Typhus.
Yep.
Between the points there, if you reshuffle them, you get more utility out of it. But anyway, that's been our game.
Yep.
Hope you guys really liked it. As always, please do remember to like, share, and subscribe. We're still trying to grow our channel, and we could use all the help that we can get. Feel free to comment. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think about the Harbingers as a play company, and what you thought about the Poxwalker Bomb. We did it first, Imperial Guard. We did it first. But yeah, besides that, I think we've been 6-sided Scribes. Thanks again, Thomas, for coming on with your fantastically painted Ork army.
Well, thank you.
I loved every bit of it, I must admit. But yeah, and until we see you next time, let the stories roll.